The work I do is about helping people respond to their desire and to develop the skill and coordination to support that response. In a given day, I might work with an actor, an opera singer, a percussionist, and a ninja. And what they all have in common is that they care deeply about the quality of what they do and how they live their lives. It is a deeply creative and collaborative process. It allows us to bring all of our resources to bear. It is one of the best ways I know to be with people. But it all started with Bulgaria. When I first heard Bulgarian singing, I was gobsmacked. I had never heard anything like it. It was somehow both alien and nostalgic. And it was raw and emotional and virtuosic and complex. And it violated what I thought was possible. And for me, it started a revolution. I wanted to sing this music. That seemed impossible. So I thought, okay, if it were possible, how might it be possible? And what would I be satisfied with? Because I didn't want to do an imitation by approximating what I heard. I wanted to go to the source. So I applied for a Fulbright grant, and within a year I was living in Bulgaria, studying at the Plovdiv Academy of Music. So I get to the academy. I'm walking down the hall one day, and I hear the most extraordinary sound. And I follow it down the corridor, around the corner, to a door. And in a froth of confusion and enthusiasm and Americanness, I fling open the door and I stick my head in, and the conductor looks at me, and I say, "Oh, could I stay and listen?" And she says, "Da, može," which means, yeah, okay. So I sit down, I start listening, and I'm just can't believe what I'm hearing. This is the sound of a Bulgarian women's choir, the thing that got me across the Atlantic in the first place. And after a few minutes, the singer next to me puts a score in my lap and points to the line that I should start singing. So I do. And I come back the next day and I do it again. And I do it 3 hours a day for 7 months. And one day, all the women come in with envelopes. Every single woman has an envelope except for me. So I say, should I have one of these? And they laugh and they say, "Oh, Kate, there are paychecks." I was like, "What? Что?" And the little hamster starts running. And I just sit there for a minute and go, and it dawns on me, that's why they're so good. They're being paid to be there. By walking into the wrong room, I have accidentally joined a professional ensemble. Throughout all of this, I'm always investigating what are the essential qualities that make performance extraordinary. What are the things that happen that make both the performer and the audience feel like they're flying? And I observe, and I practice, and I experiment, and I do this over and over and over again, and eventually this kind of behavior lands me in the circus. Singing with Cirque du Soleil's O was the beginning of my study of coordination in fields other than singing. Performing 2 shows a night, 10 shows a week, with acrobats, pantomimes, contortionists, high divers, trick divers. I marvel at the stamina and the artistry and the grace around me. And I also see injury and frustration and plateaus. And I start to wonder, how do the best of the best get better? Being backstage at Cirque allowed me to observe all manner of performance preparation. I remember one time being backstage and seeing my friend Benedict, who is a lead actor and pantomime in O. He was getting ready to do this scene where he runs all the way across the stage and while doing so takes these enormous leaps and he gets this incredible hang time. And he looks like he's suspended. And a lot of people think there are cables involved in this part of the show, but there are not. And I see him backstage, he's getting ready. I see him kind of playing with his wrists, like bouncing his wrists. That's weird. And here's his cue. Takes off flat out, and as he goes for his first jump, I notice his wrists. They're flexible and supple and buoyant. And I think, oh, I got to ask him about that. So afterwards, I said, okay, Benedict, what's with the wrists? And he said, oh, well, to get the kind of height I need and the speed I need for all these jumps, I need to make sure that I don't get rigid or stiff. So I need my joints to be really springy. And my wrists are a way that I sort of check in with that. It's a little cue I give myself before I go out. And that's the kind of detailed quality work he was bringing to everything he was doing in every show. Singing in Cirque to support that kind of performance was the perfect lab for me to start doing that kind of work myself. And doing so, I had been able to start to transcend performance, technical, artistic limitations that I had previously thought were fixed. And I wanted to keep doing that. And I wanted to help other people do that. So, if that were possible, how might that be possible? And what would I be satisfied with? In order to be the kind of resource that I wanted to be, I would need to understand the underlying principles of human movement and how to cultivate the conditions for optimal or flow state, optimal performance or flow state. I would need specific techniques that were practical and useful for performers and that would support wildness and precision on stage. And techniques that would scale, meaning they would support the most extreme choices as well as the most delicate. Having performed with and now coached some of the most extraordinary performers in the world, here's what I've learned. Talent is insufficient. Desire is insufficient. We have to choose to respond to our desire and do the work that we need to do to support that response. The best compliment I've ever received was from a Serbian musician who heard me sing my first ever Balkan concert, and then heard me again a decade later at a friend's house at a party. And I was singing this rather unusual arrangement of a Romani song. And after the room had cleared and everybody wandered off, he came up to me and he goes, "Well, you've always been talented, but fuck talent, you've worked your ass off." I'm gonna sing that song for you now. And I invite you to ask yourself, what do I want? How might it be possible? And what will I be satisfied with?
Ma